Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So for this piece I'm using acrylics and canvas paper. It's a canvas notebook. It's a notepad, sorry. So for this piece I was inspired by something I saw on Pinterest. It was just this earthreal girl holding like a planet. I think it's Saturn, I'm not really sure. But it just looked really good and I thought I'd do it in my style. So here, the face, I'm using a burnt umber and it was just way too dark because I just used it straight out from the tube. So in a little while, you'll see me putting in a lighter shade for the highlights, which is just the same burnt umber mixed with a lot of white. So yeah, and I really liked this piece. It felt like it had more detail than what I normally use, than what I normally do, because my most of my paintings don't have as much detail, and some people might think this isn't enough detail, but for me this is a lot. Most of my paintings are usually like the one on the right. It's just plain and clean. I don't add a lot of accessories or anything. Yeah, so this one, it felt different. It felt good to move out of my comfort zone a little bit. So here you can see that the paint in the middle of the face is lighter than the one in the forehead and the sides, and I'm just trying to blend it, and acrylics are hard to blend, you guys. Like, I'm used to watercolors that are really easy to blend, but acrylics are hard. They dry up super fast and they don't blend as well as watercolors do. So it was a real hustle blending these out, but I feel like it blended in really well in the end. Here the face, I'm not done. I wanted to do so I went back with the light one on top of that one and went with the dark one, just so I can have that nice gradient and transition from the dark color to the lighter color. And I almost forgot to paint the hands. Like, I'm not used to drawing hands. I just draw headshots mostly, so that's what I mostly paint. So I forgot to paint the hands. That's why I painted them last minute after the face and the chest was done. I totally forgot about them, and till I was about to get a different color, then I then I saw it, then I had to go back and start mixing paint again just for the hands, and they look a little weird. Yes, I know. Um, I don't draw hands often, and I hate drawing hands. They're just not my thing. So bear with me. Um, yeah. So if you love drawing hands, I could really use some recommendations. And so here I am mixing more paint because I forgot to paint the hands. So now I'm starting to paint it, and then it was way too light. It was just way too light. So I had to go back and mix in with the burnt umber, just to make it darker. And I forgot where the lines were, so I had to improvise. And I don't know. I think it turned out well though, for my first time drawing acrylic hands. So yeah. Here I'm just filling in the hands, just trying to make it seem as sleek as possible. And I made a mistake. I went over the background with the brown, so I had to go back with the red just to clean that up. And yeah, so here with this gold color that I painted the planet with, I actually made it. I don't have any gold paint, so I just had to mix it. I went through some things on this page, you guys, and maybe one day I'll do a tutorial on how to mix gold paint with acrylics. But this one, basically, I just mixed um, a green color. I just mixed yellow and blue and made a green color, and then I got some of that green color and mixed in red to make it brown. Then I got the pure green color and the brown green color and added yellow to it. And I just kept adding yellow just to see how bright it would go, how light it could go, and how dark it could go. And yeah, and it turned out to be a really pretty gold. It looks pretty gold. So I was really happy about that because I was nervous. I hadn't pre-mixed any of these. I was just going, and that was my first time trying to mix a gold, and I was just going for it. So I'm happy that it turned out the way I wanted it to. And yeah, and I tried, and I didn't. I mixed too much of it, so I couldn't wait to do the details until the end. So I just had to fill all the gold pieces in directly, like right now. And not, and I wanted to paint them in the end, but I couldn't do that because the paint would dry. So I was just putting them in fast because I mixed a lot of gold paint. And you saw here I'm just filling all the gold pieces in, and yeah, and I feel like I really like this piece because I feel like the planet really stood out and the gold paint really showed a lot and just looked really pretty, and I just really liked it. So yeah, and for the hair, I didn't know what to do with. I wanted a headpiece, but I just didn't know what to do with it, and so I just put in the gold spikes just to emphasize it a little bit. But I didn't know what color I wanted the hair to be, so I just I was saving that till like almost the end because I didn't want to mess it up. So I was just saving that. So I went over all the gold accessories again just to emphasize them a little more, just so they can make them pop a little more. And I almost forgot the earrings because they just blended in so well with the hair. And I wanted them to be moon earrings and a moon necklace and like a star. I mean a sun necklace and like a star on her forehead, and they're like stars around her with little leaves because there are flowers around her. And I don't know where she is, where there's a moon and a star, but I feel like it works. So yeah. And here I'm just making the indents, that's a real word. Indentations. I don't, yeah, on the planet just to make it a little more 3D. And I just got the burnt umber and got some of the gold and was blending them in just not to just so the burnt umber doesn't look too harsh. And I feel like it worked out really good. I just loved how this planet looked. I don't know what planet it is. Maybe it's Saturn. Maybe it's I don't know. Maybe it's just the planet. I don't know. Maybe it's just from where she's from, because she's an alien in a different galaxy. I don't know. Yeah, maybe she's a goddess. She's an angel. I don't know what she is, but she looks really good. So it works out. And he was just trying to do the shading just so I can show that the rings are it's like the light is coming from not the top but not straight on. It's somewhere the 3/4. Yeah, and I just shaded under the planet and under the arms and did a little more lines on the planet just to make it look a little more 3D and a little more interesting. And I just went over the accessories again, just the stars and the stars in the background, just to make them look more vibrant. So here I'm starting to put on the details like the lips and the eyebrows. And for this color, I just mixed in a burnt umber, a purple, and a red. I just mixed them together just to get this really dark burgundy color that I feel like worked really well with this piece. And for the lips, the skin tone covered the lips, so I had to improvise on what they'd look like. So yeah, they look really small, please forgive me. And here are the colors. I didn't know what color I wanted them to be. I didn't want them to be blue. I didn't want them to be yellow because I felt like it would clash with the rest of the colors. I just decided to make it purple. And for the hair, I forgot. I don't know where the footage went for the hair. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But please bear with me. And yeah, I decided to go with her white hair with like purple shading, and the color I decided to put the flowers the same color just so the purple isn't the only purple in the painting. Yeah, so and I decided to make I got the rest of the gold color that was in my palette and added a lot of white to it just to make it a little whiter, a little lighter, and made the leaves the same color because I didn't want them to be green because there's nothing else that's green there. So I just wanted the whole thing to be cohesive because you can see the background's red and the skin is a brown that has a little bit of a red undertone to it, and the planet has some red in it, some reddish browns. So that was very cohesive, and the hair is purple, the flowers are purple, and with the blue undertone. That's why I did the top blue, so it looks a bit like blue clouds. I don't know, I've never seen blue clouds, but here they are. So yeah, and I did all the leaves the same gold color, and it just looks perfect because I didn't do thumbnails for this piece, so I was just winging it. I was just going for it. So here I'm just making sure every little piece of paper in the leaves is painted. And for the spines of the leaves, I didn't know what color to paint them with at first, so I just went with the same burnt umber that I'd put in the on the planet, and it looked really good. So I just went with that, and I thought it looked really it looked really good. It emphasized the leaves a lot, and I just went with that. And here I'm just mixing more paint. I think I'm just mixing more paint, um, because I just wanted to make the flowers. They're hydrangeas, so I just wanted them to look more defined. Cause just to make them look a little bit more defined, so I got the same purple I used for the hair and just made the flower petals a little bit more defined, a little bit more just added in a little bit more detail. And yeah, and here I just lined everything that had to be lined, and here I'm just taking off the maxing tape, and I don't know why it just kept ripping the paper, and it was so frustrating. The paper just kept ripping, and it was so frustrating because this is usually my favorite part, but the paper just kept ripping, and it was just frustrating me more because it felt like everything on this piece was just going wrong because I lost my liner pen that I usually use, the fine liner that I usually use. I don't know what it was, so I just used a colored pen, a blue colored pen, and yeah, and this piece this piece took me 2 hours to paint. Yeah, it's small, but it took me a while. And yeah, so I hope you guys like this video, and if you like it, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and come back on Sundays and Wednesdays for new videos. So here's a close-up. See you in the next one. Bye.